All right, let's take a quick look at what's going on outside. So we definitely want to make sure that we're watching a couple of different things that are happening in the atmosphere. So this is sort of a buildup. Of course, we're still in that summer season, and we've had a couple weeks where things were a little bit off kilter. We were just sort of dealing with the wet weather and the cloud cover and cooler temperatures. Well, now things are starting to get back to normal. And when I say normal, I mean a typical South Carolina summer pattern, which some days include a lot of storm activity, and then other days it just includes impressive heat and humidity. So we're going to get a little bit of both of those as we go through the next couple of days. For today, the temperatures are actually fairly comfortable because of a deck of clouds in place. Now, this deck of clouds is super important because it could stabilize the atmosphere and it could also help keep our temperatures down. So we're not really mad at those clouds being around, but watch out for them a little bit later. Now, as we get into the day, we're going to keep an eye on the chance of a few stronger storms developing. We've got strong winds that will gust from the north. So as the winds kind of move over the mountains and, of course, they sink, they, of course, give us a lot of what we call uplift from the energy that's already in place. You know, we have the moisture. You know, we have the high dew points. All of that is basically just sitting here and it's readily available. Well, when that energy comes across the mountains, it quickly thrusts it up. It gives us the chance of some stronger storms in the area. That is certainly a possibility for this afternoon, and I want to show you what the future radar is showing us. So we're mainly going to be quiet for a good chunk of the day. It's just going to be a little bit cloudy at times, but I don't expect a whole lot in the way of rainfall. Then we transition into the evening commute. We start to see enough energy moving across the mountains, giving us our first line of pop-up showers probably around 6 or 7 o'clock today. We see that line continuing to shift southward. Remember, when one line develops in an atmosphere like this, it can cause other storms to develop. So we may only be looking at 1 or 2 storms, but that 1 or 2 could cause 4 or 5 more to develop. Of course, that's the outflow boundary. And whenever you start getting those storms developing like that, you get clusters and clusters of storms. Strong winds will be the biggest threat that we'll be concerned about. And if the winds go over 60 miles per hour, we will get ourselves a severe thunderstorm warning. Clusters of storms around for the 9 and 10 o'clock hours. We will see some of them shifting to areas like Orangeburg and south of that and into the low country by about 10. But hang on to your hats because some of this could last overnight into the wee hours of the morning. So 12, 1, 2, 3 a.m., we could still be dealing with clusters of storms. And if there's enough energy around, maybe even a few for the early morning commuters. Could be some wet roadways for you as you get going tomorrow morning. Once we're done with those storms, we transition to our next big headline. That will be the first alert weather days for the heat and the humidity. Let's take a minute and break down these temperatures. We are talking about temperatures going up to 93 today, feeling like 103. 97 tomorrow, feeling like 110. And 98 feeling like 111. And so, of course, the next question would be, how does that stack up towards records? Are we dealing with any records? We're not. The records are safe for your Wednesday, 103, 106 for Thursday, and 100 for Friday. We're close, but I don't believe we're going to be dealing with any issues with the records. In addition to all of that, in typical South Carolina fashion, we've got ourselves some activity in the tropics. Area of low pressure, just a disturbance. A tropical wave is expected to develop. And once it gets closer to the Bahamian Islands, we will more than likely start to see a little more energy and development from that. So the first alert 10-day forecast, it's lit up with 4 first alert weather days. And we have 1 starting this evening for the storm chance and then the 3 in place for the heat. Temperatures will be very hot and humid. Make sure you're staying hydrated and finding the AC.